Good evening, everybody, and welcome to What Was I Thinking? This is our first show, and this is a show that explores the nightmare side of dating and relationships. And we're here to help with all your dating problems. And I'm here with my sister from another mister, Aideen McQueen.
Hello.
Aideen. How's it
Hiya.
going?
It's going very well. I feel like I'm a relationship expert. The only problem about being a relationship expert is the more you have to practice and get loads of practice, but the more practice you get shows that you're very shit at relationships. So it's kind of impossible. But I'll give advice. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yes, and we have the wonderful John Long as our guest this week. Hello,
Woo!
John.
Hello. I'm not. I'm in no way a dating expert, so I'll be like the layman. You can use me as like a.
Yes, you're just the voice of all men.
Yeah, I'm fine to represent all men. Yeah, fine.
Good.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, we're excited. We might be having a song from John later, so stay tuned for that. I'm very, very excited about that. We've got a few things here that are some facts about one of us each. And I'm going to say them, and the audience that are now tuning in their droves are going to guess which fact pertains to which person, right? So one of these people on your screens kissed Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover. One of these people works as a magician in Harrods, and one of these people has one arm 2 inches longer than the other. So have a think throughout the show, guys. Whose facts are these? And get guessing, and you can leave your comments on the side there.
So, by the way, the person that just said hi, Alex, that just waved there and just said, "Great, that's the most hilarious comedian. That's the guy that does Barry from Watford, and is the guy in Phoenix Nights who goes, "I'm getting."
Yeah. Oh my God. It's brilliant.
Alex, no, he's amazing.
Thank you, Alex. I've met him. I geeked with him before. He's absolutely.
Isn't he the loveliest man? Actually, weirdly, he had.
I hate him.
You don't know him.
I did a gig where he did a character act, and a woman came backstage really drunk, looking for him with an intention of my husband. And she actually said this: "My husband isn't here tonight, and I'm looking to meet him. Big fan." And he had taken all his makeup off. He was wearing like the full wig, and she didn't recognize him. She asked him where he was, and when she found out it was him, she was like, "Oh no." She wanted the character.
Character. That is hilarious.
She was ready to have an affair.
That brings us quite nicely into our first topic. So obviously she was turned on by this fame. I think that being on stage makes a man 30% better looking. And would you find this, John, when you get out the guitar, women are suddenly attracted to you?
Maybe. I don't know if it's.
Say it works.
You turn
it's so modest.
Alex remembers that story. Yes, which is it's weird that character was a turn on for her, because that character's really camp, and he's actually a much more straight individual. But she liked the camp eccentric person.
Yeah.
So on stage, I'm quite sort of a bit campy myself, so I don't think I'm all that much of a turn on.
Oh, I think it works. Tell me, Charlie, what are your top turn-ons?
My turn-ons. I like it when people. I tell you what is the biggest aphrodisiac for me. Someone who listens to me. And I've only ever met one man who truly listens to me, and that's my therapist. So
someone who's paid.
I mean, it is a form of emotional prostitution, and I like it.
I like stuff.
What's your turn on? What are your turn-ons?
I like when a man rolls up his sleeves. He's got a white shirt on and he rolls up his sleeves to do some work. I really like that part of the arm. And I love when a man smells of a man, like when they haven't had a shower for the whole day, and you smell the smell of a scalp really turns me on. And everyone thinks that's really weird. But when I was a kid, I used to go over to people and sniff their scalps. And I would get in trouble for it. I love it. I love this. And certain people's scalps are really magnetized to. And I said this once at a party, and I thought people would be like, yeah, me too. Nobody could relate to me. I Googled it thinking, okay, there's a whole society of scalp sniffers out there. No, I seem to be the only one.
I think the only top context I've heard of people talking about that is babies' heads. People love it, like the smell of babies, but it's just like you like the smell of adults' heads as well. I
love the smell of a man's behind the ear, yeah, and I sniff all my lovers' ears, and they hate it.
And that's why
because it's so
loud. That's why you love traveling on the tube.
Yeah. Sometimes I will smell a man and I will go, oh, and then I'm like, this is inappropriate. So I'm just bordering on creepy. But then again, it's just adorable when I do it. But I was looking at this, right? Oh yeah, John, what are your turn-ons?
I was so busy thinking about your turn.
Sex.
Sorry. I love
When a
Scout-
woman
Scout
is female. Pardon?
Yeah. Turn-ons. I don't know. Do you know people that really just people that like people go for the whole treat them mean, keep them keen. I like people that are really affectionate. Some people don't like that. I think
like
I'm
that.
needy. I need another needy person.
What do you like, PDAs?
Not necessarily in public, but behind closed doors, you know. Affection, please. I don't mind if you treat me like shit out there, but behind closed doors.
Yeah, I get you.
like
I
you
like
like
that as well.
Yeah.
So I was looking up turn-ons, and according to yourlifechoices.com, the women's top 10 turn-ons are 1, being generous. So basically, that's a man paying for dinner. Number 2, being a good kisser. Number 3, having a good sense of humor and a nice smile. I don't know why they lumped those two together. But I think when a man says he likes a woman with a good sense of humor, he just means a woman that laughs at his jokes, doesn't he? When a woman says that, he wants a man to be funny.
There was a study about it, that everybody wants a good sense of humor in a partner, but men define a good sense of humor as someone who laughs at their jokes, and women define it as someone who makes them laugh.
Yeah, it's so like, yeah, that's what men get their act together. Men, you have to start listening to women's jokes. Being chivalrous and polite is a turn on. Confidence. Doing housework is a big turn on. These aren't very sexy, are they? Playing with her hair and massage. Good grooming and fashion sense. Active listening and intelligence. And turn offs for women.
Active listening.
Oh, the turn ons for men are smell of cooking food.
Oh God,
what website is this?
Yeah, wearing matching lingerie. Does that appeal to you, John? The matching lingerie?
No, I don't. That's too much. There's so much pressure. You know, those moments where I've gone out and I've got a special outfit and we're to have a good time now. It's not very spontaneous.
Yeah,
I think. No.
Doing yoga turns men on. Women doing yoga. Wearing red.
They always choose red.
They love the red. Telling dirty jokes is a term. Men find that a turn on. I didn't think men liked women to be funny. Being a good driver. Making first contact. Being appreciated. And playing with her hair. And stroking his head. Oh, that's kind of like mine. And then I don't know if any of those are really a turn on for me.
But so what about turn off? We've got what's a turn off for you? So I always think sometimes something can be going so well. It was all going so well until he told me he went to Reading Festival. I don't know why I think of that as just like or just something that really.
That's so personal.
I think that's very specific to me. I don't know if anyone else feels that, but just if someone says they went to Reading Festival, I just think.
Or
I just think get out of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Huh? Says it like, and I had a great time. You'll find if they say I went to Reading, oh my God, never again. That would be okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's people that enjoy Reading earnestly are.
Any kind of earnest enjoyment of something. Yeah.
I know what you mean, though. Those moments are really clear sometimes. They happen almost instantly. I had someone, when I was a student, there was a girl once who I was been dating, and she was in my room. It was the first time we'd sort of probably had sex, and we'd had fooled around a bit, but first I'd seen her naked, essentially. And I said, wow, you have an amazing body. And without any hesitation or any kind of like irony, she went, I know. And I instantly stopped
like a legend.
Her, though. That was the thing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Even though I think it's good to be.
That's what men. Yeah.
Something about, because I so hate everything about me. I thought, wait, you don't have any? I think you should be confident, but then there's self-confidence and arrogance.
I think
how should a woman react to that? So this would be my reaction, John. Just tell me I've got a great body.
You have a great body.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, of course. Taking a compliment, and I don't think you should be like, oh no, I look like an absolute meh. I don't think you should do that. But it was the Oh,
Yeah, I
no.
get you. If somebody, if a
Whatever
man
reason.
did like that to me, I would be like disgusted. But I think that's what Irish and British people have in common, is that we could say about somebody, she's very confident, and it's actually an insult. You know,
Yeah,
too confident. It's not comfortable. But I recently met a guy. Okay, now I am in a relationship at the moment, but this guy, right? He's half Irish, half Jamaican. Really, really good looking, beautiful blue eyes. He's funny. He's sweet. He's kind, right? But then he came to the house, and I thought, wow, this guy is perfect. I'm going to tell all my friends about him. Right? He comes to the house to bring the dog on a walk. Right? He bends over to the dog. And he starts, I was like, is he kissing the dog? So I said, God, did you kiss the dog? And he said, I had to give the dog mouthwash. So I licked his gums with the mouthwash. This guy licked the gums of a dog, right? And it turns out that he actually wanks the dog off regularly, right? To give the dog confidence. And the dog loves him. So it's like, he's got everything, but he also wanks off a dog. It's like, how much, Charlie, would you be interested? He's single.
Very interested.
Okay.
Yes.
He's a very famous brother as well. I'll say no more.
I'm guessing.
And I'm just getting.
How often does he do it? And does he do it in public, or is this a thing he does behind closed doors?
He acts like it's really normal. I think he does it behind closed doors, but he kissed the dog, and licked his gums in front of us like it was the he said, and the thing he said after he did it, he's like, yeah, I had to clean the dog's teeth, but I didn't use the proper mouthwash. I was using human mouthwash instead of dog mouthwash, and that's the thing he was fixated on.
Yeah. Oh well, then you messed up, buddy. Yeah. That's wrong.
So it's a turn off, but he was so good looking, you might forgive it.
No. There are levels of good looking and where you forgive things. I actually went out with a very good looking man who, when we went to a restaurant, the waiter said, bon appetit. And he was like, oh, what's that mean then? It was just fine not to know what that means. And she was like, the waiter was like, oh, it means like enjoy your meal in French or whatever. He was like, are you French? To the waiter. He wasn't like bright. Or maybe that's unfair. He didn't know that what bon appetit meant, and he thought that if someone said it, that made them French. I just realized as I said that I just might sound like the world's most hideous snob, but it was quite
shocking. You need to know what bon appetit means. Colin has said that the biggest turn off is when you get compared to an ex. Oh my God, yeah, so is. Except
not unless it's
favorably, like, oh, my ex used to never do that amazing blowjob thing that you do, AD, and I'm like, oh. Everybody knows now. But 100%. Yeah, being compared to the ex, or when somebody says, oh, my ex was really, really beautiful, but I don't date beautiful women anymore because they're too much trouble, and then looks straight at you, you're like, oh, come on. Something like that. Yeah, that's a total turn off. But in a way, it makes me competitive and want to win them over more. So
that's why they do it. Probably they probably all read the game and learn it there. They know they're doing it.
Oh, I'd say I fall for that a lot. The negs and
guess
all that.
Who went on a date with the guy that wrote the game?
Fuck off.
Yes.
Was it me?
Yeah,
no, without realizing.
It was me, but I think it was a business meeting that then turned
tell us about the date, Charlie.
And my biggest regret is, so basically, I wrote an article called "The Female Answer to the Game" for a feminist student publication, right? And then as my research for it, I started joining all these like pickup artist forums under the name Charlie, because it's a male name, very useful. And I end up kind of talking, and then Neil Strauss is the name of the guy that wrote that book. He's around, and somehow he's on the forums. I end up emailing him, sending him my article, and he was like, great, this is a great article, let's meet up. I'm in London next weekend. So I went and met him at the W Hotel at Trafalgar Square, which is above the M&M's World, which is the world's bleakest tourist attraction. And went there. We kind of we went to the M&M's World as well, walked around there, and then went kind of for a drink. But yeah, it was interesting. I thought we might write The Female Answer to the Game, the book, together. In the end, we just ended up having a drink, and then he sort of gave me a weird sort of head massage, that really sort of resonated. And then I thought in my head, oh my gosh, I'll be the first girl that doesn't sleep with him because, he wrote the game. And then I kind of walked away really regretting that I didn't sleep with him, because actually I'm sure a lot of people have that double reaction, like, oh no, I'm not going to. And I just think it would have been a better story if I had. So I wish.
You're the
I wish I'd
you
slept
won.
with him, basically.
Yeah, no?
But you know, it's true what they say.
Story, but did you feel he was doing his?
Say that again.
Yeah. Gosh.
What did you say?
Did you feel like he was really able to seduce you? And what?
So he's had really bad, like not great. You'd imagine him to have swagger. He didn't. He looked very dry. He just wanted to slap on moisturizer onto his face, and but then the head massage. That's where it all changed, because it was like he was sort of like he had his arm around me, and it sort of very much resonated through my body. Have you ever had that experience? Yeah. So it went from the head massage.
Yeah. How did you get? How did you get from talking to giving you a head massage?
I think alcohol.
He suggested you'd be like, well, you look stressed. Do you know what you would really benefit from?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was more like, you know, when you change locations quite a lot, that's quite a good dating tip that he writes about. But you go, we ended up back in this kind of quite loosey bar. So we're like sat there like that, and it was a kind of massage. And then
Okay.
Anyone you regret not sleeping with, Aideen? No, sorry.
I have never not slept with anyone ever. Very easy. I've been with so many comedians. There's been more clowns on me than the trampoline and the circus. Let's just say that. But I've changed my ways now, and I'm in a steady relationship.
Lovely.
That's a shame.
It's a shame. It's terrible. Wait, what am I meant to do? Oh, I made dinner for my older boyfriend's kid. Boring.
But the chlamydia infection rate on the comedy circuit has gone down, so that's been a plus.
Yeah, I know.
Noticeably.
They were just saying words in the comedians' union. They're like, "Can you just zip up your fanny, Aideen, and keep up." So
urban myths of dating, everybody.
Sorry?
I was going to introduce the topic of urban myths of dating.
Dating urban myths.
Do you know what
Funny, John?
Urban myths.
Do you know what we mean by an urban myth?
I do know what you mean, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not an idiot.
A story that happened to a friend of a friend, yeah.
It happened in a city, but it's like an urban, but it's
not a rural myth.
Kind of, no.
Okay, I think I know. I'm on board.
So the one that springs to mind for me is the shit in the bag. You know about the shit in the bag one, surely.
The variations of it. Yeah, please tell us.
So, girl, one night stand, goes really well, goes back to stays in his house. In the morning, he goes to work. He says, "I'll leave you here. The door will lock as you leave. Make yourself some breakfast." So she wakes up. She's a bit hungover. She does a big dirty shit in his toilet. Cannot flush it. Tries and tries and tries and tries. Cannot flush it. What does she do? She doesn't want to leave a big dirty shit in his toilet. She's had a great night with him. She goes, gets a plastic bag, takes the plastic bag, takes the shit out, puts it in a bag to then bin on her way out. Yes. She writes a note on the kitchen table. "Thanks, really great to see you. Here's my number. Really like to hook up again." Leaves. Door shuts behind her. She's left the poo in the bag by the note.
Oh, that's glorious. There was a real version that happened recently on the news. Did you see that, where someone had the same problem, couldn't flush, and what she went for was a scoop and throw out window solution, and what she didn't realize, it was double glazed.
Oh no!
Quite a big gap, so it fell between the gap of the window, and she went, "Well, I can't leave that there." So she tried to reach it, and then she fell in and got stuck, and they had to call the fire brigade to get her.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And does his shit still there?
To this day, it remains. That's your first question.
As a tour guide, I would like to take my tours to that location.
But all these urban myths are kind of like they're fulfilling the role that other myths had, which in fables, which was to warn people, and most of them are just warning you against having sex or one night stands or anything like that. So I think Yeah, that is a function of them. I mean, I'm from a rural area in Ireland. It's called Ireland.
The rural myth.
Yeah, we had rural myths like there was a myth that if you went to the dance, right, and an Englishman came to the dance, right, you shouldn't dance with him because he would have cloven feet. And if you look down, you could see little cloven feet, so it's basically telling a warning against getting pregnant by an Englishman, which I failed to heed.
That's so much more rural than the urban myths. You're right.
Oh my God, so rural.
It's so rural.
Definitely
I love
true.
that.
Yeah.
I get no action at Irish dancers, and now I know why. They all keep looking at me thinking, I know.
They all river dance
to where.
Do you have any Irish ancestors, John?
I don't, weirdly, sadly. My uncle lives there, but other than that, I've got Welsh and Scottish and English, but sadly not.
That's okay. Your sound so Celtic connections.
Yeah, Scottish. My mum's Scottish. There you go. I was born in Scotland.
Nice.
But no Irish yet. Yeah. I don't know why I said yet. I'm going to adopt some Irish children. I hope you're okay with that. Yeah.
I thought that was a kind of joke about Aideen being like that horrible classic like MC joke. You got any Irish in you? Do you want some?
Do you have any urban legends that you know, or urban myths?
Not really dating ones, other than the one which was such an urban myth, and Ricky Gervais ended up putting it in one of his stand-up specials. It was such an urban myth. But the one that we had growing up was that there was a guy who there was these toilets people used to go near to, and it was where everyone supposedly was cottaging, and a guy sucking off his dad and then coming out the cubicle was the big one. That was the only urban myth. Yeah, and coming out the cubicle. And then I remember that going, and I remember even urban myths, you still believe they're true when you're that young, when you're a teenager. And I remember seeing it, Ricky Gervais' stand-up special, and going, oh, what?
I mean, my problem with that is, why would he go to an outside toilet out of their comfortable home to do his horrible kiddie fiddling, you know?
No, just sucking off a young man. It's like it's a 21-year-old son. I think it's an adult son.
Okay. Oh, well, that's fine. That's fine.
Sorry, I should have clarified.
Yeah. It's just incest.
Yeah.
It's just incest, okay? Calm down.
But young enough to live at home, so it's still an awkward dinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right about believing that they're true when you're young as well.
Yeah, but there are cautionary tales that were meant to make us not have sex, not go into the graveyard, not be a necrophiliac. It's all just part of somebody's. Is it our subconscious makes them up, or it's one person? I don't know. I'd love to know. I'd love to start one. That's my aim for next week, to start an urban myth, guys.
If anyone wants to help us start one, write in now.
Absolutely, that's a great idea.
See, we all know a lot of people, and I think we should get this going. We could get this working. Just has to be a really good story. People remember it. It's like the shit in the bag one. I mean, I think variations of it happened. I don't know if it happened so perfectly.
I believe in the bag.
A weird thing that happened to my friend, who's a comedian, actually. She was telling me some of these weird things. So I know this is actually true, not an urban myth. But there's a thing apparently people did, which I wouldn't have believed is real, where he knew everything about her by the time they had met. Like, he had so sussed her out. So like they were just messaging, and he'd be asking her questions like, "And how is your brother?" And she's like, "Well," and she has no personal details on her website, you know. And what he told me, he basically revealed how he did it. He's been reverse image searching people. And I didn't even know you could do this. So people on Google now, people online now, they just, by the time you get to a first date, they've done a full recce on your personal life.
I know, I do it absolutely. If I'm going on a date or I fancy someone, I do so much research, and then when you go on the date with them, you have to pretend like you didn't know. Your dad is a sister. Yeah. And you went to Crete, no way, 2006. I mean, maybe around then. So yeah, it's a lot of acting, pretending that you don't know all of this stuff. And it is kind of creepy, because if like 15 years ago, to get the kind of knowledge that you could get from Facebook, the only way you would do it is if you go to their house, break into it, get some photo albums and look at them, and then, you know, maybe speak to their mom or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's quite I remember when Facebook came first, I was like mesmerized, and I really fancied this Irish comedian.
Mhm.
and I typed his name into Facebook to try and find him, and pressed enter.
Oh, you...
But I didn't type it into the search bar. I typed it as a comment. So I had just
boy.
let's call him Aloysius Murphy.
Of course.
Typed as a comment, right? I realized it, but my phone died. I was in the car with my mother going up to County Mayo, which is miles and miles away from my house. So the whole of the journey, I was like, please, man, stop. I have to charge the phone. I have to charge the phone. There was no phone charger in the car. So I just basically written the most crazy statement, like a cry of a mad woman, just going, Aloysius Murphy, you know? Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant madness. I love Facebook. I'm not
He
gonna
didn't tag him. This is pre-tagging him, so at least he didn't come up and he got wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody fancied him. What about fantasies? Will we introduce that topic? Very seamless, wasn't it?
Is that?
That was a great
I'm not
segment.
going to share my fantasy.
I know.
Am I? Are you?
Are you asking us if we are fantasies or fantasies we've had? You know what I mean?
No, I think we
Us
want to
on
talk
us.
about people's Pornhub searches and what people.
exactly.
Oh, do we?
I think
Yeah,
we do.
I
Yeah.
screenshotted mine, and we were told to do this in advance, so I've got mine here. No, I haven't really.
Your porn.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. Pornhub, which everyone keeps telling me, it's free. Premiums gone free while they're how generous
been
of
free,
Pornhub.
no?
Well, I don't know. Apparently, there's a paid service, and as a goodwill gesture, they've offered it for free during the coronavirus.
Bored. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like telling people, oh, do you know what's free? Cooking oil. There's more free cooking oil. Like, it's not something I want to like luxuriate in.
Not scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to let you take the lead on this. I've not had many juicy ones of these.
So
No.
Pornhub every year publishes all its data. It's kind of like a PR thing that it does. It does a year in review, and it's actually beautifully presented. So they'll kind of send all this stuff out, and it's actually super interesting. So I've got a quiz question based on that data for you guys at home and you two in the studio. What do you think the number one most searched term of 2019 was?
The most searched term.
Yes, on Pornhub. This is worldwide.
Lesbian.
I've heard its step is the most common word.
I've heard this,
but I don't know if that's true or if that's one of a. If that's just a.
So lesbian, your answer, Aideen, comes in at number 3, but it wasn't number 1. Number 1 first search for term is Japanese.
Oh,
so that also, if you look at that graph, and you also look at the graph for the amount of the most viewed country by country, there's a lot of Japanese people on Pornhub, so that maybe just searching for people that look like themselves.
Gangbang was how close was she?
Oh, Sarah Jane. Gangbang is, thank you, Sarah Jane.
In Ireland it is,
Stepmom was number 8, by the way. Well done for that suggestion. And no, I think, Sarah Jane, your gangbang search term is exclusively yours. No, it's gangbang is there at sort of number 18. So there you go. But it's actually 1 below Chinese and 2 below big tits.
Which is a big surge for big tits, actually, because they were floundering on the 22nd last year. So that's nice to see.
It's nice to see. Actually, yeah, the nice rise from the big
Japanese in at number 1, though. Wow, that's I don't know why I'm shocked by that, but I just think that seems the most searched term. People love it.
But it's
the second most searched term was something I had to look up, which was hentai, which I didn't know what it was, but apparently it's a type of cartoon.
Oh, is it like anime porn?
Like Japanese? Do you know?
Yeah, it's all those weird cartoons with huge boobs and tiny waists. It's
now
like
I thought that was special interest, but that's number 2.
Number 2, yeah, I really thought that was going to be very niche.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was gangbang down at number 18.
What about feminist porn? Is that searched?
No, but the category of porn for women has been the biggest climber in last year. So porn for women has been a big thing. Yeah. And then it's amazing because you can have a look at categories by gender. So women's favorites, men favorites. And for 20 points, tell me what's the most viewed category for women. So women's favorite category.
Tidying the house. Naked hoovering.
Homemade.
POV of one.
POV. Blokes with hooves.
Think more blokes with who.
English blokes
Think more
turning up to
inside the box, guys.
Okay. Stepdad. What do men like? Just make it that.
I don't know. Adrian, what's your
Dilf.
favourite porn?
Dilf.
Dilf. Is it? No.
No.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, guys. It's lesbian. Well done.
Lesbian.
It's lesbian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's interesting as well, isn't it? So lesbian is hugely popular then. I wonder what the least popular thing is. I've never seen Irish. I know it's bad.
You know what the least popular porn
British.
term is? No, British is really, really, people are really into
popular.
that. The accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me and Adrian know from some the side hustles we've had. BDSM from Colin.
What's BDSM?
Yeah, I don't know where that's at.
That's dom. I don't know what it stands for. It's
yeah. When you just
tied up. Yeah.
I'd love to be tied up, but that's not a sexy thing. That's just a lazy thing because you can just lie there and do fuck all. You can just take a little rest and leave him do everything.
What you want there is to be sort of waddled like a baby, like swaddled in.
Yeah, that's it. And kind of rock in with a little swing. Yeah, and just have to do nothing. Oh, it'd be great. BDSM. So he thinks it's BDSM. That's Colin A. Mayhew.
I think it stands for domination there. That's what I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it stands for, but I know the vague thing. I've just been looking up Neil Strauss as well to get a look at this guy I went on a date with.
He's not very fit, is he?
Well, no, but I imagine
for me.
No, he's way below. You're way out of his league, Charlie. Clearly.
I'm way out of his league.
Way out of his league. He did very well, but he, I do recognise him from seeing interviews, and I know what you mean. He's one of those sort of geeky people who's just sort of, how are you successful? But there is something a bit weirdly intriguing about him.
Yeah,
it's sort of like I would. This would be the body shape I would give for him.
Yes, he has a sort of praying mantis.
Yes, a praying mantis type of a person.
Yeah.
All right. That was a kind of few Pornhub questions. I'm just going to also bring up a question that we've written down here, which is when are you sure that you are comfortable in a relationship, and can you be too comfortable? Any answers for that?
Yeah, I think once you've got into their fart confidence. So if somebody farts in front of me, I'm just like, I'm there. You know, he loves me because he's so comfortable that he just lets it rip. But I think I would never do a poo in front of a man. That would be too much. A wee, yes, no problem at all. But poo, I draw the line. You know.
It seems fair.
I think you know that you're too comfortable. What is too comfortable when you're showing off about the various and very clever ways that you've cheated on previous partners.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, clever, but not boding well for me.
Really? Machiavellian style plans, and you'll never believe how I got away with this one. Really? Is that
yeah, you know,
and it's good.
But never with you.
But here's how I would. You know how O.J. Simpson released that book after he got away with it called If I Had Done It?
Yeah.
That's what he said. Listen, I'm not going to cheat on you, but if I did, no, this is the myriad of ways in which I could get away with it. Lovely.
My top tip for cheating is one of the people has to know. You can't be cheating. You can't be trying to hide it from two people. One of the people has to know that you're just having an affair with them, and that makes it much easier. And the other thing is just to call everybody darling, because you will confuse their names. So if you just get into the habit of calling everyone pet or darling, it's very good. Yeah. If anyone has top tips for cheating, please chip in with them.
Next week, Aideen's top sexy cheating tips.
Yeah. What other top cheating tip would I have?
But get a burner phone. Have you got a burner phone, Aideen? Like on
yes.
of London?
Yeah. That's it. If a man is very well dressed with a lovely suit and he asks for your number and suddenly he takes out a fucking Nokia 3210, that's the affair phone.
That is the modern day version of the tan mark where the ring is.
Oh yes, that's very good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another tip for cheating is get a really boring hobby that your husband or boyfriend will have no interest in, like flower arranging or something.
I'm going curling.
Yeah, I'm going curling. Yeah, exactly. But you're not. You're going to get the ride. That's it. So yeah, I've got loads of tips.
That could be a whole separate podcast, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cheetah's always possible with 18.
I was once a mistress to a French man. It was by accident. I didn't realize because he was speaking French to me, and I was kind of like, I've quite good French, but he really wanted, and he told me that he was married. Well, I didn't pick up on it. I was just like, oui. And then we had sex, and then he was like, there's a famous French saying by the playwright Sacha Guitry. He says, when a man marries his mistress, he creates a vacancy. And then he laughed. He burst out laughing. And I was like, oh no, I'm now a mistress. Shit. Yeah. So
good stories.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the French people have a much more permissive attitude to cheating. It's kind of
Sort of
I think every country has their weakness. Like the Irish people love drink. Americans are into pills and food, but the French are into sex. Sorry, Charlie.
Sorry to interrupt. Would they ever use the term the French term for cheating? I'm imagining it's not as derogatory. It's not as like a negative word, is it? What's the French for cheating, or they don't have one?
I think they say playing away, something like that. Oh, but the term for the mistress is 5 à 7. Right. So what you do is you go to work in Renault or whatever French company that you work for. You go from 9 to 5 and work in Renault. You tell your wife that you're working late, but you go to your mistress's apartment from 5 to 7. You have sex with the mistress, and then you go back to the wife for 7. 5 à 7. That's what they call it.
5 to 7. Oh, very good.
Amazing. La triche.
La triche.
I was in France. Oh, they're good. I was in France once, and a guy came up to me, and I don't speak French. My girlfriend does speak a little bit, and he said something to me, and because his gestures, for whatever reason, I thought he was asking for a lighter, and he seemed a bit drunk, so I didn't want to even if I had one. I just went no, and he left. And then I said, "What did he say?" And he said, "You have a very beautiful girlfriend." So what happened is he came up to me and went, "You have a very beautiful girlfriend." And I went, no. Don't tell her that. That'll go to her head. No. She was like,
this is disgusting, actually.
Yeah.
Confident women. Don't tell her that.
But he was just confident enough to come up to me and say to me,
are you still going out with the same girl that you were going out with in Edinburgh?
Yes. Did you meet her in Edinburgh? Yes, Hannah.
I met her briefly. She's really beautiful. Yeah.
She's gorgeous. Yes.
Yeah.
And she's still with me, even though I said no. Yeah, she stayed with me.
So we've got
you need to keep that girl down
in the show, guys. And I'm thinking, do you know what I'm in the mood for?
What's that?
What, Charlie?
Music.
Yay! Well, I could sing, but I got a sore throat now. So
you know what I'm not in the mood for? You singing. But what I am in the mood for is John singing a song that might be based on relationships.
It is. I mean, Aideen is a former music teacher and the much more competent of the two of us when it comes to music.
I'm not too sure now. I think you're very good.
Your tin whistle. I've heard your tin whistle.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite things ever. One of the first times I probably got to know you was you were emceeing a gig in a really obscure pub in somewhere, Greenwich or something. And I think you did that gig as well, Charlie.
God, yeah.
And your thing was, give me any song and I'll sing it Irish. And you were singing Nirvana songs in a
God, did I do that?
You were singing the whole of Nevermind, but in a kind of a with the lights on. Yes,
good and contagious. Yeah, I'm a good singer, but everything sounds like fucking the Titanic theme tune when I sing it.
I love it. So yes, I'll do, so feel free to join in on sort of Gaelic vocals throughout. But this is a song about dating, because I think that it feels like all the different changes in gender roles is what's impacted dating a lot, and it feels like women have dealt with that change better than men, and they're struggling to keep up with the changes, and they feel a bit like they're going, well, no one told us this was happening, even though everyone told us it was happening. And I think the difference is education. So my sister was listening to sort of tips on how to conduct yourself in dating scenarios through just her normal music choices. So she was listening to TLC and Destiny's Child, American R&B, and those songs felt like a public service announcement to women, chaired by Beyonce. It was like the motion from from TLC, no scrubs. Can we pass that motion? It was very official, and everyone, got to learn how to conduct themselves. Men didn't have that, and if they had, I think they'd be dealing with things a bit better. So this is the music I wished I'd grown up around, basically. So yes. Okay, ready? Colin,
Yes.
can you handle this? Nigel, can you handle this? Dave, can you handle this? I don't think you can handle this. Looking dapper, looking fly. Seen a girl, caught her eye. Dance over to where she is. Try to gauge her reactions. Don't be hasty, don't be bold. Don't invade her space at all. Don't be grinding up on her knee. You'll get kicked out of the library. We're in a library the whole time. And if you're actually in the club and want to ask somebody out, just make sure that you're polite. And if she says no, that's allowed. Read her lips. If she's nice and you like what you see, but she clearly thinks that you're creepy, back off and try to do so casually. Lower your sights, rethink your strategies, because I don't think you're ready for these gentlemen. I don't think you're ready for these gentlemen. I don't think you're ready for, because our attitude to women's too conscientious for you, babe. Yeah. And they would have said babe in a kind of Yas Queen, RuPaul, postmodern kind of way, so it wouldn't have been patronizing. Question, do you want to have sex with me? No. Well, I respect your decision. Now I'm going to leave. Yeah. Just because of the drinks you bought her doesn't mean that you have bought her. She's young enough to be your daughter. Let's be good men. I know there's good men. All the fellas who conscientious, throw your hands up at me. All the lads who can have ladies as friends, I'm assuming they're all throwing their hands up, but in remote areas. All the puppers who didn't do runners, throw your hands up at me. And all the gents who keep them hands to themselves, keep keeping your hands to yourselves. Charlie, you know your angels get equal pay. Well done, Charlie, for being an equal rights employer. The private investigation game is extremely male dominated, so well done, Charlie, for hiring women in those roles. Very progressive for the 70s. Yes, and I'm a modern guy and I'm learning empathy, learning to stop grossly overstepping boundaries. I'm getting nicer, now I'm getting kinder, learning to express other emotions except anger. Everyone, I'm a yeah. Okay, I'm not as good as a catchy sing-alongs as Beyonce, but you get the point. My point is that I know there's good men. I know there's good men, because our mamas taught us better than that. Thank you.
Woo! That's actually so good. I absolutely love that.
My reworking of Destiny's Child, which
what instrument are you playing? Guitar?
Oh yeah, sorry, it was out of sight. It's a very small guitar.
Is it a travel guitar?
Yeah, a little travel guitar. Ooh, it's tiny. It's very small. Yeah. But yes, so
wow, thank you.
If we'd have had those tips, maybe we'd have been all on board and not telling you all the great ways like we cheated on previous partners.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up the show now, guys. But I'm just gonna go around and see if there was a highlight from anyone from the show. Did you guys learn some things? Was there anything that really stood out for you guys in this week's show?
The popularity of hentai.
Sorry.
I said the popularity.
That bit for me, that was
shocked me, and your scalp sniffing was I found intriguing.
Oh.
I can't help it. It's just it takes me over. This is the smell of the scalps. I used to smell my sister's scalp all the time, and my mother would just slap me. Like she'd be, stop that, that's weird.
I'm gonna go smell my scalp and see if it is a thing.
Yeah, I think the song was brilliant. It's never occurred to me, because mostly female R&B is quite positive and quite standing up for yourself, and male R&B, rap, hip hop tends to be a little bit misogynist. So your dick. So that was great, John.
Thank you.
It was great. My favourite bit, sorry, wasn't your song, John, but it was the idea of Aideen doing a whole segment about cheating tips, and almost maybe there's a book in that for you, Aideen. And Sarah Jane agrees with me that maybe you could be your first book.
Tip, right, which I got from my French lover, was always make sure that your cleaning lady has the same colour hair as your mistress. So if your wife finds a hair on the sheet, you can be like, oh, c'était la cleaning lady, you know?
This is a very sexist very sexist cheating tips. You need to change the gender. It's always like when you get back from your 9 to 5 at the office. It's very much set in the 40s. Your mind.
In between peeling vegetables, tell your lover.
What I realised is I need to really work on my feminism.
So next we are going to be phoning some male prostitutes And it's something me and Nadine have done before, and it's been absolutely amazing. So that's a segment for next week, as is the segment about TED Talks. We're going to be doing TED Talks next week. So if anyone's got any suggestions for TED Talks that we want to do, you can choose the subject and we'll write a TED Talk for you. So send those on in.
We have to reveal the fun facts. Has anyone guessed?
Yes, very good. Well, we've had thousands of entries. Too many to look at. So, fact 1. Who once kissed Zach Galifianakis? Please raise your hand now.
Of course it was me. Yeah, I met him at a comedy festival in my hometown about 2003. And I was just like a kind of a cool teenager hanging out and volunteering for the festival. And he was this like weird, bearded, fat old man. But I got really drunk. I didn't like any of his jokes except one. He would say, "My name is Zach Galifianakis. It starts with a gal and it ends with a kiss. I wish my name was Zach Galifianak. Fuck." And so that one joke made me laugh so much. And afterwards, he was flirting with me and my sister Maeve. And he was like, "Girls, you should come to LA and visit me and stay with me." And I was like, "No way." And I kissed him. And then I was so embarrassed. I just said to him, "Look, I'm going to the toilet." And then I went to the toilet, but in my own house. I fucked up. I used that old classic trick. And now he's got a girlfriend that's like younger than me. You know? He's the one that got away.
It's a nice preview to another feature we're going to do next week, which is called Your Lame to Fames. Everyone can bring in their lame to fames and we can all compete on those. The fact number 2 was who worked as a magician in Harrods? That was me.
Woo!
I mean, great story, really. I just worked in Harrods and I had to, sell Marvin's magic kits and stuff. And it was a windowless. Do you? Yeah, I think I was doing it while I was doing comedy. Yeah, it's quite good on the old CV on the LinkedIn, because it's often quite boring, people's LinkedIns. But when you say magician at Harrods, that's literally the reason I got the job. Everything in my life has been leading up to this moment now, to be able to, which is something you can actually, Anyway, so that leaves us with our final fact. Let's see get those arms out, John, and prove it.
I thought I was going to give it away with my praying mantis impression because one was high. I did my praying mantis and I thought, oh no, I'm going to give the game away, so I put it down.
Is that why you played the guitar?
Very good.
So we wouldn't know.
That is
exactly. You'll never tell. You can never tell because I've got guitar on. Exactly, hides it beautifully. I couldn't think of a fact. That was the only thing I could think of. But it's a thing.
And how do you know? Have you measured them?
Yeah, it's about that. But I actually, to get it right, because it's changing a little bit. I went, what's it at now? And I put them out and measured it for this. 2 inches.
Did you?
Yeah.
And does it affect you in any way?
Say again?
Does it affect you in any way?
No, I can't do anything that requires 2 hands over shoulder height. So anything I can't. But it's all boring stuff like putting up shelves. It's actually pretty good. I can't do the YMCA, or I can. If I do it, it's like I'm doing it in italics. So it looks like I'm being sarcastic, and I don't think that's good. It was so much fun to set the YMCA.
It's quite a handicap, though. I mean, the YMCA come up a lot in life.
I can't do the real Rocky thing. Dun dun. You know that thing?
Yeah.
If you do that above your head with one hand, dun dun, it's like a rally, and then it's not. I don't do that. Other than that, it doesn't really affect me. Really, I drive an automatic car. That's it.
Okay.
I can't reach the gear stick.
Well, on that absolute bombshell, learning that John drives an automatic car, which is something I never knew about you, John. I mean, you're just full of surprises.
Not very interesting surprises, but they are
not interesting surprises, but they are surprises. I've just repeated what you said then. We're going to wrap it up. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next week, me and Nadine, with another guest. Not you this time, John, but we really appreciate you coming. That's not a reflection of your performance, by the way. That was
always the way it was going to be.
We have a new guest.
I've been honoured to be your first.
It's been lovely catching up.
It's been lovely seeing you both again. Hope to see you soon. And enjoy the other ones. It was really fun.
Okay. Thank you so much, and thanks guys for tuning in, and thanks for your comments. Much appreciated.
See
Bye,
you
Alex.
next week,
Love you.
8 p.m.
Bye.